Okay, so round three starts, and I think that this is a pretty complex ban phase for um for this, right? Because I'm looking at this and I know that the vaults, like there's not a lot of people that are playing vaults, Nasus Vagar anymore, and Deep's kind of a generic deck. Same with Scouts. So I think Scouts is off the table for banning. So it's kind of between these two SI decks where I think I personally really struggle because they also take a long time to play out the game. And I actually think I make the wrong decision here. I think I fuck up by banning Deep when I should ban Nasus Vigar. I believe Deep I can sneak out wins with or against, right? It's not it's not terribly hard to sneak out a win against Deep. Against Nasus Vigar, the people piloting that deck still are going to be good at it, right? Like they know what they're doing. Um, so I think if someone is choosing to still go with Nasus Vigar in this day and age, I should have just banned it. I believe I banned Deep instead, and that's a little bit of a problem. Yeah, it becomes a problem later on because this person clearly knows what they're doing. Jin and Isla gets banned again, which is expected, but like at the same time, it has been 3 rounds and I have not been able to play Jin and Isla once. Um, we start out with the Scout Spear, and the Scout Spear is interesting, and we see it a lot throughout this. So I throw back Island Navigator, and I think I immediately somewhat mess up. I'm actually going to go back here. I think throwing back Island Navigator is actually not correct, given that we are on events. So it's like one of our best cards in the deck. So I think because of that, I'm supposed to keep it and throw back the rest on the left, keep the Mirai Warden, and we can figure it out from there. But the curve of having Mirai into that is very good. We luckily draw a Genevieve, which I believe, if I remember correctly throughout this game, Genevieve actually comes into clutch. Drawing Champion Strength as well allows us to have the disgusting turn 5 of double Mirai into that, but we draw Island Navigator. So hitting the O1 is sucky, right? This kind of sucks. Um, Unlucky, but not the worst. Um, when it comes to it, I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit. They play Duran Sculptor. They just take a long time throughout this game. We attack. I don't think they're ever trading with that, so we can get a free 2 damage. So there is the argument. There is a potential argument to not develop our Mirai Warden here, so that we can go Island Navigator into Champion Strength on turn 5 and be able to do that, right? That is an option. They give us the option to end round. I take it. I believe I misplay into this by going Island Navigator. Yeah, and then I believe I attack with both, which I believe is not correct. Especially once I play this, I'm just like asking for one to get removed. Oh wow, I don't. I didn't realize that. Okay, might be. I thought I attacked with both for some reason. I don't know why. I am like immediately regretting everything that has ever happened because of this Duran Sculptor. Um, Inspiring Light is a really good draw that I think I fumble, if I remember correctly. Um, Use Ribbit here, obviously. Like, that's fine. I I don't know if from here the game is winnable. Because I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the opponent's board. They have two 1-5 formidable challengers, and at least we don't have any X1s for the misfortune to hit, but like if they just have champion strength next turn, we're dead. It's just over. It's wraps, right? Like, can't do anything about it. They drag, and like that makes sense. Then they attack with this, and I believe they attack. Oh no, they didn't attack with the misfortune. So I block, and then I form up, I believe. So this is, I think, a real, like, even if they have form up here, I think I'm fine with it because it takes them off of another, of champion strengthening next turn. So, and because of that, we will be able to have champion strength as an option when they are able to champion strength. So, depending on how you look at it, it's fine. Right? Our thing survives, really good. Right? And I do believe that next turn is... So, I'm like considering playing this Petricite Barometer because it can be useful to us. However, I choose to pass. And I think that was a misplay. And I'll tell you why. Is because we get rewarded for it by drawing the form up, right? However, if we don't draw the form up, if we draw anything else, we get punished by not having another challenger unit while we have the option here to take back board control, assuming they don't have champion strength. What I'm saying is always kind of assuming that they don't have champion strength. If we can go Petricite into Genevieve, we're able to like wipe the board, pretty much, and have our own board, and have champion strength in hand, and be able to play that champion strength the next turn with scout attack. If I just do that instead, it's winner's queue. However, I choose to do this. And I believe they ripped champion strength. Yeah. And then I pass. And I am realizing that this is really fucking bad. Because this misfortune is getting closer and closer to leveling. Luckily, we do have the form up. I believe I throw away a unit or two here. It doesn't really matter how you block here because none of the damage matters. And Jade, what the fuck are you doing? Form up your guy. Huh? We get to kill one of their guys? Like, come on. So from here, we're on the back foot. We could have attacked there and then formed up something, like, in response. Now we're just kind of chum in the water, is I guess the best way I can describe it. Yeah, like, they play Quinn, gets buffed, and I'm kind of doomed now. I'm at this point kind of doomed. There's not really a lot of good ways of coming back from here when I could have, like, played this a little better and been able to deal with a couple of more things. It makes me a little sad that I misplayed this because I feel like this game was winnable. However, they kind of did just like draw diff us a little bit with drawing double champion in the mirror. Like that's good, and we didn't draw a single champion. Well, we drew one champion. We used our form up fucking finally, LMAO. And I kind of just realized that we are super dead from here, right? Like, Can't really do much about this. Especially with this, and then going 6 wide. I believe I play this out, but at this point the game is over. Just gonna skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, I make some blocks that don't end up actually mattering because everything just dies. We get to trade with a shell shocker, but it does not matter. They're just going to kill us. And from there we draw like what is pretty much nothing. I realize that there's no outs for this, and I just concede. So that's game 1. Alright, we've run back the scouts going into here. And I think I, like, kind of mess up a little bit. Oh, shoot. Okay, sorry. I was just going through here. So, MF, obviously really good. Blocking Badge Bearer, obviously very good. Inspiring Light is, like, kind of mid, so I decide to int and throw back my Blocking Badger Bearer. Duran Sculptor isn't bad, and our one-drop isn't bad as well. Quinn also isn't bad. So, basically what my thought is in this matchup is that I want to trade removal spells as much as possible with them, because my units come with additional units. So we'll be able to value them out from there. I quickly learned that this isn't true, because this isn't a vaults list. This is just Nasus Vigar without vaults. I don't really get the choice of Vigar over Senna if you're going with no vaults version of the deck. I don't know their list. I'm pretty sure, like, if they have the Rekindler, that makes sense. If they don't, I don't think there's any reason to not be on it, so I was assuming that this is a vaults list, right? And that they will be a little slower in the early game, but they're going to have a monstrous late game. So we need to get their removal spells out of hand as quickly as possible. And then we pass. It goes here. And I played the Duran Sculptor, which I think is fine. Because if it survives, we get to pump up a formidable unit. And I think that's fine. And then we're able to go into our turn where we can play MF and Inspiring Light. They play Soul Harvest, which is good. I like that. I like seeing that, because that's a removal spell that is pretty much universal for our champions out of the gate now. We draw Champion Strength, which I don't know how else to describe it other than bad for us. We're facing the region with counter spells, and I know this deck will play counter spells. There's no way that the deck doesn't play counter spells, because it would be dumb for them not to, right? Like, frankly, it would be stupid not to. So they kill this, and that's fine. We attack with MF. I don't decide to Inspiring Light here, which, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking might have been a mistake, because I could have played around Soul Harvest. But from here, I think I start fumbling the bag, like, a lot. I think that play was greedy, and I decide to go for Vanguard into Mirai Warden. And I believe I Inspiring Light. I don't exactly remember. Actually, I'm pretty sure I don't Inspiring Light because of this. And I get maximum punished for this later on, as you will see. Because my thought is I'm going to Quinn, and then I'm going to Inspiring Light, and this game should be over. Like, from there, we're in a good spot. We can barely lose. And I believe I get maximum punished by Eradication here. And this is kind of why I said at the beginning of the video, I think that banning Oh wait, it was Nasus. Wait, what? I'm completely misremembering this. Um, so I end round here after this, knowing full well that this is not looking good. Um, I get eradication at some point during this game, and I can't remember when. Um, Sorry for breaking immersion and having you have to listen to me, like, just spoil the game. Um, Jeez, do I like? Yeah, I think it's on the pass back here. I get eradication. Nope. Okay. What do I do? I don't even remember at this point. We're gonna watch together. So like the obvious play is that I can champion strength, right, and start leveling my Quinn. Because their stuff isn't big enough. Their Nasus isn't big enough to deal with that yet, and they just tapped out of mana for it. And I think this is my play. They just tapped out of Vengeance mana, and I think this is the time, even though they have enough mana to counterspell it. I think this is the time where I need to go for it, right? Because if I don't, it gets worse. It just gets worse from here, right? There's not a lot of spaces where we're going to be able to play it anyways. But my thought was greedy. I was being a greedy motherfucker with this, where I said I want to kill this Nasus. I want this Nasus dead in the dirt as soon as possible. So my thought was I want to be able to champion strength with form up on my Valor. It's not a good play. I don't think, like, I think I get punished and lose this game for it. I do not remember what I do here. So this attack makes me think that they have Hate Spike in hand. And if I block anything, they're able to Hate Spike one of their units onto another one of my units and get to level their Nasus. And Nasus level is kind of their win condition in this matchup, because once my units have just like a universal -1/-0, it gets significantly harder for me to kill them, because my unit, I'm trying to go wide, I'm not trying to go tall. Like, this shit sucks. I believe I skip block. I just take it. I'm just doing nothing when I can do stuff. I play Valor here, which, once again, man. So now I'm looking at this and I'm saying I can do either or. I can either champion strength or for Demacia. I think if I'm going to go for one, it's supposed to be for Demacia. And the reason is that I get to kill one of their small units, attack in with Quinn. I can form up in response to Nasus. I can even double form up if needed. So I think I do this, and then, maybe it's not Eradication. Maybe it's fucking Ruination. And I just, like, lose off of it. I don't exactly remember this game, and I'm sorry. Do I get baited by this? Oh, yeah, I remember this. Okay, so I do this. And I drag. And then I commit. And I kill this Nasus with a form up. And, like, I'm feeling good. I'm kind of chilling with this, right? Like, this is not that bad. We're, all things considered, pretty good. Because I'm looking at this board and I'm like, this is, it's hard to get better than this. Then the Ruination comes out, and I have two cards in hand, both of which are not units. If they have an Assus, we just lose. Simple as. They're at 16. I believe I misplayed by like I had this champion strength in hand, and I was too scared to pull the trigger on it. And I think there's a couple of points in this game where I am able to pull the trigger, and it would have been good to pull the trigger on it, and potentially allows me to do a lot, and I just lose. Like I can play the tracker and form up, but realistically, there's no plays that allow me to get out of there because I just begin to lose from literally anything. They could have a 1 mana and 0/1, and I would lose the game to that because I can't get through it. So the start of my open started out 1-2. With my one, I didn't even feel like I really earned that one. Because I believed I misplayed and just drew better on the Scout's Mirror. So, where is it? Come on. I believe I deserve this defeat. I never ripped my thing. I just kept on waiting, and I deserve this. I'm not gonna lie, I deserve to lose this. And from here, I won't lie, my mental was kind of destroyed. And I want to talk a little bit about mental for a minute. So I went into this. This is my first open being on a team. And I'm not used to it. And honestly, if I'm going to give like my honest thoughts, I've been stressed out over it. I feel like I had to prepare a lot, and I'm not one of the more established players in Runeterra. I kind of like just burst onto the scene. I'm trying my damned hardest to get better, but this was soul crushing for me. Because I've only done 2 opens before this. The first one I went 4-3, and then the second I went 3-3. And I'm now starting this out with no prime glories, with nothing, going 1-2. When in theory, it should be kind of a breeze. And I was stressed because, man, I love being on my team, and all I really want is to be on the team. I want to grind. I want to do that. That's what I want. I want to get better at this game, and I feel like the team is Noximus has some of the best players, in my opinion, in North America on the team. And being able to just sit and listen and talk with them sometimes, and that helps a lot. And I wouldn't, like, I'm gushing a little bit, but I wouldn't trade that for the world. I get this amazing opportunity, so I'm trying to grind my heart out, and this made my heart sink. I luckily think I responded to it pretty well. I saw this, and I said, let me get up and walk around. To say that I, like, wasn't teary-eyed, at least a little bit, be an understatement. I needed to just, like, calm down after this. Because, in theory, the end of my open run is near. And my overthinking brain went, if I go 1-3 and I just consistently put up worse and worse results in the opens, that's not a good look. Even if I'm doing better in community tournaments, it is still just really not a good look, and I did not want to fail. So, despite all my misplays throughout this, I think the one thing that I did well after this series is getting a mental reset. I think I went and made a bagel, sat outside for a little bit, ate, watched a video or two. It took a good 30 to 40 minutes to just chill out, get my mind off of it, and I could come back stronger. Right? So yeah, I think despite all of my misplays for here, um, and everything that I did wrong, I think I did. I think I can confidently say I did one thing right, which is take my emotions out of the situation from here going forward. And it might not sound a lot, but I'm proud of myself for doing that. I usually get down on myself really hard, and like, yeah, I get a lot of tournament anxiety as well. So seeing this did not help. But anyways, thank you for listening or watching. Point out any misplays that you think I did. There's obviously a lot I lost both games. Maybe I should have started on Poro King instead. I don't know. I think the Poro King does really fucking poorly into SI decks, and that's kind of the reason that it's able to be somewhat meta right now. But anyways, that's really it. Thank you for watching. The next ones will be out tomorrow, or I guess technically today, when if you're watching this at the 1 a.m. then it's probably going to get posted. So, yeah. Have a good night, or day, or whatever, and I'll see you next time. Bye.